Hello, I'm Greg Hill, Chairperson of the Communication and Technology Committee, also known as CATCOM. Today, we're going to meet the 5 candidates running for the 4 open positions on the Colony Board of Directors. The rules are very simple. None of the candidates were provided with any of the questions in advance, and each of the candidates were asked the same questions. The interviews were recorded live with no opportunity for retakes. Now, let's meet the 5 candidates running for the HOA Board of Directors. Now I'm sitting here with Pam Viss. How are you, Pam?
Hi, Greg. I'm fine. Thanks. How are you doing?
Somehow it seems like we've done this before.
Get it?
Well, let me start in. These questions were approved by the association management, and we're asking all of the candidates the same exact questions, and there's no editing, no opportunity for retakes, Pam. So let me start with the first question.
Okay.
What colony committees have you served on, and what clubs are you a member of? If you haven't been on a committee or member of a club, is there a reason why you haven't?
Well, actually, yes and yes to that question. I really have a problem with that question. And the reason why I have a problem with that question is the unfairness. If a resident, member of the HOA, or someone who is just a resident here, renting, wants to be on a committee, they should be able to serve on any committee that they want to without jumping through a hoop and going through like a job interview process and being approved by several different people and then being appointed. I find that actually insulting. And I find it an abuse of power. Because I think anybody should be able, if they want to volunteer their time, great. Isn't it wonderful to have fresh ideas sometimes? Mm-hmm. So I think that our community is really losing out on some valuable assets that could be on the committees. Now, am I on a committee? Yes, I am. You look surprised, but I am. As a matter of fact, I will be stopping at the committee chair's house today to pick up an item to deliver to a new resident.
Oh, great. What is your vision for the future of the colony over the next 5 years, mm-hmm. and what is your plan to achieve that vision?
Great question. That's a good question this year. My vision for the colony is to have the colony fulfill its great potential. We have a wonderful community here, terrific location. The only thing that we don't have is transparency, which has led to financial instability, which can lead to a disaster, a major problem. There is no transparency in this community, and that buck stops at the board and the members of the board, and that needs to be resolved, because that is a critical thing for people to plan their financial futures here, to give them a sense of stability, of security, which many residents now don't have, but they used to. I also want to just get back to the old way of doing things. For over 30 years, this community operated just fine and grew and matured. So why all of a sudden in the past couple years do we have 20 or whatever, however many, new rules and regulations? What's going on here? It seems like there's an element that has an iron grip of control in here, and they don't want to loosen up that grip. And I don't think that makes for a very good, united and happy community. So I would like to get back to the promise of the colony. Mm-hmm. And I think it's here because the good people are here.
All right, let me ask you the third question. Mm-hmm. Are you in favor of upgrading or modifying the clubhouse and recreational facilities? If so, what would you like to see changed or upgraded?
Oh, wow. You just hit a hot button with me. Actually, I am absolutely 100% for having the best-in-class facilities for every resident and homeowner here who pays their dues. I am 100% for that. However, it was just not too long ago, I think it was like right before I moved in here a little over 5 years ago, that there was over $1 million renovation to the clubhouse. Now, unfortunately, that $1 million renovation didn't include lighting for the auditorium, which apparently, when the lighting was put in, the new lighting, things were found that weren't up to code. How is that possible? If we just did over $1 million renovation to the clubhouse, how is it possible that a 2x4 and a steel rod is holding up the patio cover to the barbecue area? Since I've moved here for 5 years, this hasn't been attended to. So with the current board of management that we have in place, I am 100% against any expenditure that exceeds the bare minimum for any major project in here because it is sorely mishandled. And we all pay for that mishandling. So I guess the answer to that is yes and no.
Well, let me ask you this, Pam.
Yes.
Why do you want to serve on the board?
Because when I moved here, I wanted to be part of the community. I wanted to meet my neighbors and get to know the area. Then I discovered some things, just because I was asking some really basic, innocent questions that were not being very well received. And which kind of made me think, okay, well, what's going on here? These are just basic things. For example, just a few days ago, there was a couple of fires. They were a little too close to our homes here. And it made people wonder, well, wait a second, well, geez, what do we do? And I thought back, I said, almost 5 years ago in my orientation, I asked that question. Do the gates have a fail-safe in case of an emergency? What is the evacuation plan? Those questions were not very welcomed, and I did not receive very good answers. As a matter of fact, the gates do not have a fail-safe, which is an issue. There is no written evacuation by street plan, which again is another issue. For the safety of our residents, can you imagine 1,000 to 1,500 cars trying to exit this community onto public streets that are already crowded because the rest of the area is evacuating, and we have no plans? So I'm concerned for my neighbors and for their safety, and I'm also concerned for our financial stability. So,
Well, that brings up the next question. What is your top budgetary priority for the colony for the next fiscal year and for the next 3 years?
get a handle on our finances. Become 100% transparent. I was contacted by a resident who wanted to review a vendor contract because she had some questions on it, which is her legal right to do. It's in Davis Sterling, it's in our CC&Rs, everything else. And the vendor contract happened to be the patrol service. When she went to the office to request to see it, she was denied because she said she was denied because of confidentiality in the contract. Excuse me? What confidentiality in a patrol service contract? Now, I have spent my career in high-level business. No. These things need to stop. The law needs to be followed. Residents' rights need to be respected. And not only respected, we need to start learning how to work together as a community, not a them against us. So my plan is, number one, we need to get control of the finances. Number two, we need to have transparency and know where our money is spent. Number three, we need to respect the residents and include them in the decision making and really listen to comments and not just sit up there, here's your 3 minutes, okay, thank you, next. I mean, come on.
What do you like about living in the colony?
I like my neighbors. I've met some wonderful people here, just really wonderful people. Um, and, you know, it's a pleasant surrounding. Even though we have a little issues and stuff like that, I actually enjoy living in a gated community, and I enjoy living in an HOA because, well, way an HOA should be, because everybody should be treated the same and rules and regulations should be enforced on the same level and things of that nature. And everybody's property values seem to increase and be secured. And people seem to come together as a community, like a small town. And that's the kind of feeling that I would hope that the colony would get back to.
Well, Pam, that was the last of our authorized questions, but I want to give you the opportunity to make any statement you'd like to make.
Thank you, Greg, because it's kind of funny because you kind of hit on some things that I was going to do. And if you don't mind, I wrote them down so I wouldn't ramble on like I have been. Again, a few days ago, with the issue with the fires, and we don't have any evacuation plans. Maybe there are, I don't know. Maybe the Emergency Preparedness Committee does have, I don't know. But see, that's the problem. The problem is, I don't know. Because I'm just a resident, and all residents should know. Now, I don't blame any of the committees about these things, because that's just an example of something that should be looked into and taken care of. And it's not really the committee's faults. The buck stops with the board and the board members. And if they're not willing to step up and start doing stuff for transparency and safety, then we need to take a long, hard look at what are they doing. I don't know why asking questions, and especially involving transparency and safety, I don't know why that's not considered being a responsible citizen, a responsible resident. But it isn't. All of a sudden, it's looked upon as being labeled as negative criticism, or just completely ignored. Why is that? Why such a hard pushback when somebody asks a simple question? It reminds me of an old quote. Let me read this quote. You can fool all of the people some of the time, some of the people all of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. So on Saturday, August 24th, I'm holding a real town hall meeting here in the auditorium. And I'm inviting all the homeowners because I'll be giving a presentation and there'll be a discussion amongst whoever attends about some really serious critical matters that financially impact every single resident, and information that every single resident should be aware of and really understand and know. And as well as that, as a presentation, I'll also be presenting documentation. Because I'm a real believer of not saying something, not just spouting a bunch of words that doesn't have any backup, that somebody can't go and independently fact check to see if it's right or wrong. So I will be giving documentation that people can check out for themselves. Then I'm hoping that we will also be able to kick around some ideas on how to bring the community together. Whether we agree or not agree, I think the common thread is we all want to live here together peacefully, and we all want to have the best community that we can. And we don't want this divisiveness, you know, like this group versus that group. That doesn't serve anybody very well. But unlike the presentations that the board gives, people will be able to ask their own questions. They don't have to submit them, get them approved, you know, and when there's an answer given, after they ask their question, they don't have to sit down, they can do a follow-up and have a interactive, so that people can openly discuss things. I'm also giving an open invitation to every single candidate that's running to come to this town hall, participate in it, answer questions from the residents and your constituents. Make comments about the presentation. Give your own point of view. But let's not fool ourselves and be disappointed if none of them show up. Because I don't think any of them will. Because they haven't in the past. And I think that's an issue of control. And if you are think that you're doing such a wonderful job, why not come and tell people? Mm-hmm. What are you afraid of? Why this banding together? There's only 4 seats open on the board. We have 4 incumbent candidates. So if they're doing such a terrific job, why the hard push? Something doesn't add up here. The dots really aren't connecting. But anyway, to go on, what I'm asking people to do is to help me on this. Help me bring transparency to our community that we all deserve. Help me write some of the things that should be, and bring your new ideas so we can refresh our community. Because I think new ideas and different opinions should not only be encouraged, but they should be welcomed and they should be implemented, not just brushed off of, well, we're not going to do it that way, and we don't really have to tell you how we're going to do it. So that's my spiel. Vote for me, vote for me. I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be sending out the court documents so everybody knows what's going on. So I thank you for your time. And Greg,
well,
thank you for
I want to
doing
thank
this.
you so much, Pam, and good luck on your election.
Thank you, Greg. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
Bye, everybody.
Well, I'm sitting here with Kathy Stevens, who is an incumbent member of the Board of Directors. She serves as the secretary of the board and also is involved in dealing with special projects. Kathy, today I want to explain our rules a little bit, and that is that there's no editing, no retakes. So the questions we're going to ask you have been approved by Jim Morgan. So here's our first one. What colony committees have you served on, and what clubs are you a member of? If you haven't been on a committee or a member of a club, is there a reason why you haven't been?
The first committee I joined was the golf course committee in December of 2021, when I first moved here in 2021. So I was on the golf course committee until I became on the board. And then I've been a board member since September of 2022. As a board member, you're a board liaison, and I've had the privilege of being gone to several committees and been involved and met people, and so I don't really have a lot of extra time for clubs. So,
all right, let's ask you the second question.
Is this rolling?
Yes.
Oh.
What is your vision for the future of the colony over the next 5 years, and what is your plan to achieve that vision?
I made a mistake 2 years ago when I answered this question, because when you're a first board member, you have a lot of lofty goals, and you don't understand that what you want to accomplish has to be in agreement with the rest of the board members. So there's certain things that obviously we need to get closure on the golf course. We need to pay attention to landscaping and water restrictions that are coming, which would affect our budget. I want to try to work on increasing communication and educational seminars for people in the colony, so they understand a little bit more what's going on and what the various processes are. So those are
Okay. Are you in favor of upgrading or modifying the clubhouse and the recreational facilities? If so, what would you like to see changed or upgraded?
Well, it would be based on the budget and based on what the upgrades would be. And I'd like to see a bigger pool. Right now, that pool is very small. But I'm not really that involved in the pickleball or tennis or.
Why do you want to serve on the board?
Oh, I have more to do. There's a lot of things to do, and I'm not done.
Okay. What is your top budgetary priority for the colony for the next fiscal year and the next 3 years?
Budgetary priority. Well, obviously, we want to try to balance raising dues with what needs to be done and what's going on in the world. In terms of any kind of specific budgetary, it's more of a global thing. I don't have a specific budget issue.
All right, and finally, what do you like about living in the colony?
The people.
Can you enlarge on that?
I just like the way they're friendly, and they share things, and they accept one another, and they're supportive when you're going through some sort of challenge. There's always someone there that you can reach out and talk to. I love the HOA staff, quite frankly. Jim Morgan has become a wonderful mentor. And Kimberly and Kara and Katie, Colleen, Elizabeth, they're all rock stars. So they help me do what I need to do better.
Well, Kathy, that's the end of our pre-designated questions, but I want to give you an opportunity to make your own statement.
Okay. My own statement is that this board that we have is very unique. And in my career as a project manager, I was involved in several different kinds of projects involving several different kinds of people. This board is unique in that every single person on the board has a different background, and they bring all of that to the issues that come about, and they bring different perspectives. And we can arm wrestle and we can disagree, but nobody ever walks away and, is mad or anything. There have been times where I didn't get what I wanted, but in hindsight, it was actually a good thing. So that's what I love about the current board and the current makeup, is I feel that we all work together to kind of accomplish what needs to get done.
Well, Kathy, thank you for joining us today, and good luck with your re-election.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sitting here with Greg Ross, who is a candidate for re-election to the HOA Board of Directors. Greg is currently serving as the Vice President of the board. And as you know, Greg, we have a couple of questions that have been authorized by our association.
Okay.
And the rules are very simple. There's no editing, no retakes.
All right.
So bear with me. Here's our first question.
Okay.
What colony committee have you served on, and what club are you a member of? If you haven't been on a committee or a member of a club, is there a reason why you haven't?
All right. Well, I've been on the Architectural Committee. I've been on the Rules and Regulation Committee. I belong to the Pickleball Club. Also, obviously, the HOA Club as a vice president. So.
All right, great. What is your vision for the future of the colony in the next 5 years, and what plan do you have to achieve that vision?
Well, I'd like us to be as solvent as possible, just really build out that reserve. I think is paramount for any HOA to have a nice cushion. And so I'd really like to I want to raise the rates, just try to be more frugal, be smart in what we spend money on.
Okay. Are you in favor of upgrading or modifying the clubhouse and the recreational facilities? If so, what would you like to see changed or upgraded?
Well, the clubhouse actually looks pretty good. I mean, when I first moved here, I think it was just remodeled or recently remodeled, and I'd bring everybody through that I knew because it just looked so great. and I think it still looks in very good shape. As far as facilities, you know, some of the pickleball courts need a little upgrade, but you know, we can take care of that down the road. It's not paramount. We can do a little patch on that. You know, again, when you have the money, then you can do things. You don't want to just spend money for no reason. As far as facilities, or recreational facilities, you know what I'd really like to see? I'd like to see a sauna of some sort. You know, a his and her sauna. I think it'd be kind of nice, either a dry one or a steam one, just depending on what really is most beneficial for the group.
All right, I need to ask you, why do you want to serve on the board?
Well,
Or continue to serve?
yeah, I just like to be part of the action. It's good to know what's going on. I think I have a lot of background. I've been in real estate. I've been an accountant. I've been in, attorney. Not that I practiced attorney, but I went to law school and I did pass the bar. So I am an attorney, even though not practicing. So all that background really gave me some good background here to really benefit, I think, the group of 7 of us, and I'd just
Okay.
like to continue on.
What is your top budgetary priority for the colony for the next fiscal year and the next 3 years?
Well, I think that definitely we need to get that pavilion outside taken care of, the barbecue area. I think that should be number 1. It's been sitting there languishing for as long as I've been here. It really needs to get the attention. We've been sidetracked with different things that pop up, but I think we really need to focus on that, and I'm sure we have the reserve for that. We'll check with Chuck, see how far we can go, and start getting some information and get some bids and see where we can go.
What do you like about living in the colony?
Well, people, paramount. They're friendly. If you need something, there's always someone who can help you. If you have a question, there always seems to be people with an answer. If you have a problem, there's someone there who can solve it for you. It's a great community, and people mainly, and then just the whole facility itself. Just beautiful to live here. The golf course, once it's really green and nice and up and running, that'll be another nice benefit in here. Just the beauty of it, seeing that, the lakes, the ducks, the geese. It's just
All right, cool.
pleasant.
Well, that's the last of our authorized questions, but I do want to give you an opportunity to make a statement on your own behalf.
All right. Well, they asked, why do I want to be here? I think we have a good group of 7 right now, and the 4 incumbents that are running again, I'd really like to see them all go back in. Me, Chuck, Dell, and Kathy. I think we are a great team. We don't all agree. You've probably seen some of the board meetings. We don't not all in lockstep, but and I'd just like to continue on. You can imagine we've all worked. Imagine a company changing the managers every year. It'd just be chaos. Sometimes it takes a little while to really learn everything, even though you've done it before. Everything's different. Accounting's different. Everything's different for different places. So I think a little continuity would really be excellent.
Well, thank you very much, Greg.
All right.
Good luck with your re-election.
Thank you.
All right, you take care.
All right.
Well, I'm sitting here with Dell Mitchum, who is a longtime member of our HOA Board of Directors, and he's running for re-election. And Dell, we're going to ask you a couple of questions that have been approved by the Associa management so that they're consistent. We ask the same questions to each candidate. And then at the end, I'll give you an opportunity to make your own statement. So let's start with your first question. What colony committees have you served on, and what clubs are you a member of? If you haven't been on a committee or a member of a club, is there a reason why you haven't?
I served on the emergency response team and architectural committee. I ran Jack and Jill golf for a couple of years or more, and served on the landscape water ad hoc committee when we were trying to investigate whether we could use the recycled water. It was quite a few years ago. Turned out we can't really, too expensive to set it up. And one time I was with a small group of homeowners trying to get a better relationship to these golf course owners. That was before the lawsuits.
I'm tempted to say you are also a member or a liaison of the Communications Committee.
Yes, I was.
Okay, second question. What is your vision for the future of the colony over the next 5 years, and what is your plan to achieve that vision?
Wow, a vision, huh? Well, I intend to make it the best of my ability to make it the best place, the premier place to live in the Marietta-Temecula area. Just keep everything going and keep everything up to date and try to stay in tune with all the new people coming in. I know they have a younger group and they have different ideas of what should be going on, so everybody needs a voice, and I try to be that voice for them.
All right, good. Our third question, are you in favor of upgrading or modifying the clubhouse and the recreational facilities? If so, what would you like to see changed or upgraded?
Well, I'd like to see the exercise room bigger, but that's a problem right now as to where that would happen. We have this communication room that's pretty big. We could, no. So yeah, I would like to see it bigger, but I don't know where that would happen.
Now, the next question is, why do you want to serve on the board?
I've been here for almost 24 years, and I love the colony, and I want to serve on the board to maintain the status that we have and the level of what we have, the amenities for all the people that live here.
All right, good. What is your top budgetary priority for the colony for the next fiscal year and the next 3 years?
The one project coming up that's going to be fairly expensive is the redo of the pavilion area out there. Sadly needs it, and so that's a big one. On my 3 things that I'm interested in right now, the budget is one of them, to start going through that again and see where we're spending our money better than what I do now.
And what do you like most about living in the colony?
Oh, the camaraderie, the people. The people are just tremendous. You have all these people of relatively the same age that have a lot of similar interests. If you find yourself bored in the colony, there's something wrong with you, you know. It's always something to do.
Well, that's the end of the organized questions, Dell, but I want to give you an opportunity to make your own statement.
Well, I think, like I said, I've been here almost 24 years, and I've had in the past in Mission Viejo, I was on the board of a smaller Cypress Point, and also elected to the Lake Mission Viejo Association, which everybody in Mission Viejo has to belong to, whether they like it or not. And so that was interesting, a couple of years there. I don't know, everything, I think my background with 75 to 90 people and a director of operations at Coldwell Banker, huge budget, I think gives me the expertise and the know-how to manage the complex issues we have here in the colony.
Well, thank you very much, Dell, and good luck with your re-election campaign.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sitting here talking to Chuck Gordon, who's an incumbent, member of the Board of Directors and also the Colony Board Treasurer.
Yes.
So, Chuck, I want to explain to you a couple of quick things about how we're doing this. The questions have been determined by the director of the association. Everyone is being asked the same questions. There is no editing, no retakes. So with that in mind, let me begin with the first question. What colony committees have you served on, and what clubs are you a member of? If you haven't been on a committee or a member of a club, is there a reason why you haven't?
I've been on a lot of committees. I started off with the Emergency Preparedness Committee. When I first came to the colony, I was a block captain, then I became an area coordinator, and then eventually I graduated to search and rescue. I got onto the Finance Advisory Committee at the very beginning in January 2018, so I'm going on 7 years there. I'm now the chair by virtue of the fact that I'm the treasurer of the Finance Committee. I've been on the Racquet Club. I was appointed the treasurer of that committee. I served on the Players Board for a time being, and I'm proud to say I am on the Actors Studio Committee.
Also as treasurer.
Yeah, also as the treasurer. I don't know why you keep handing me the checkbook.
Yeah.
So I've been on those committees, and I am currently on the Finance Committee still, going on the 7th year.
Cool. Okay, the second question. What is your vision for the future of the colony over the next 5 years? And what is your plan to achieve that vision?
Well, I think within the next 5 years, for sure, the golf course issue will have been settled. And I'm very excited about the prospects of what that entails. I think that I have a vision that we will be having a third-party operator, a management company. I can see them earning a profit, or at least for our purposes, breaking even. The restaurant is a little more tricky, but I could see something happening there. I see space being available over in the golf course area that could be used for our venues. I can see the beautification of our fingers and slopes, which to me is a very big issue. In the next 5 years, I'd like to see our traffic problem solved, although you got to work with the city of Murrieta, so there are complications there. I could see the modernization of our kitchen within the next 5 years. I can see the area over by the pool, the patio cover, which needs to be improved and beautified. I can see that happening as well. And I can see more camaraderie and unification in the community with the golf course behind us.
Good. Now, you've kind of led me into the next question, which is, are you in favor of upgrading or modifying the clubhouse and the recreational facilities? If so, what would you like to see changed or upgraded?
Well, thank you for asking that. It segues into the modernization of the kitchen. Also, what have been brought to my attention since I've been on the board is that there's a number of clubs that sorely lack storage space. So I think if there's a way to enhance the clubhouse to accommodate storage space for the needs of the various clubs as well as the HOA staff, I think would be a good thing to do and accomplish.
Why do you want to serve on the board?
I just like being useful and helpful. That's why I've served on all the committees in the past. That's why I'm currently on the Actor Studio. I like to be involved in the community, and I like to be useful and helpful in any capacity that I could be. And it's one of the things that I enjoy doing as the appointed treasurer. I'm able to utilize some of the experiences that I've had in the past.
Now, this next question may be more particularly for you than anyone else.
Ooh.
What is your top budgetary priority for the colony for the next fiscal year and the next 3 years?
Well, I always like to come within budget. This year we were 1% off, which I think is a pretty strong mark. I'd like to maintain that over the next 3 years. And ideally, if we can get the golf course behind us and remove the high-end litigation costs that we're now facing, we may even have an opportunity to have a year where we don't have any fees, possibly reduce them. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that. I can't guarantee that. But I can envision, removing $200,000 off of our books based on litigation as being able to apply that against the other cost. And it might keep our fees very, very low for a year or so. That's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to.
Now, our final organized question is, why do you like living in the colony?
I just love being around the people. I love being involved in the different clubs that I'm in. I get a lot of personal reward when I'm able to work in, say, the actors group, whether it's the players, the actors studio, being around, other people other than my board colleagues. It gives me, great satisfaction. I'm also involved in the community with the racket club, mainly with tennis. I have a set of friends there. I just love being out where the people walk the dogs at night. I'm a pretty social person, and I love being around people.
Fabulous. Now, before we conclude, I do want to give you the opportunity to make your own personal statement.
Thank you. Basically, it's very simple. I just want to thank the community. This may possibly be my last time on the board. There's no guarantee I'm going to get reelected. A person much wiser than me told me never count your chickens before they're hatched. And in the event that's the case, I just want to say thank you very much for those of you that gave me the opportunity in the first place 2 years ago to serve on the board. It's been a very rich and very rewarding experience. I've had an opportunity to serve you. I really got a lot out of it. It meant very much to me. It was very important to me, and I was able to accomplish, more comprehensive and transparent reporting of the Treasury reports than ever they've been before. And I just want to say thank you for that. And in the event that you feel I've done a capable job and you're going to give me your support again in the future with your vote, I want to say thank you for that too. It will be something that I'm going to want to continue to do to serve you. Thank you.
Well, Chuck, we want to say thank you and good luck on your reelection bid.
Thank you.
Now you've had the opportunity to meet the 5 Colony residents running for the HOA Board of Directors. If you would like more information, you should check out the August edition of the Colony News, where they're all covered. And don't forget to join us in the Colony Auditorium on August 20th at 6 p.m. for Candidates Night. If you can't make it in person, be sure to check out the Colony YouTube channel for the live stream. Remember, the choice is up to you. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.